Okay. All right. I am live. I am live. I'm live. I'm live. And how is everybody doing? I hope you can hear me. Let me make sure my microphone is connected here. Like it's doing anything. So, where's my audio? All right, I guess it's live. All right, everybody, how are you doing? I promised. Wow, you gotta love it. I promised that oh, what's going on here? I promised that I'll be doing something today. Uh that's out of, just out of the ordinary, yes. It's out of the ordinary, but it's important. So today, as I promised, that I have an assignment, right? I have an assignment that I have to complete, and I'm going to do it over the next 5 days. I have an assignment that I need to complete this project that I'm doing. If it is always doing projects, right? So, what is this project? All right. So, I need to be able to do something over the next well, I chose 5 days based upon what I'm doing. What am I doing? Oh my goodness, what am I doing? All right. So if you're like me with a very curious mind and someone who wants to know more, just know more about things, know more about the things that are happening, more about the universe, more about my total existence, right? Yeah. So I turned to dive a little deeper into the spiritual side of things. Because from a long time I've known that, there's different dimensions of the human being, right? So I went in search of uh to find out more about the spiritual side of the human factor. So here I am. All right. So I am working on this course with this ministry, which I will recognize right now. I've been doing developing your prophetic flow with the ministry, Worship and Faith International in Jamaica. So first of all, I have to recognize the set man of that house who has taken time to, um, you know, um, open up our minds to the spiritual things of life, to the spiritual things of God. So recognize also the Dr. Courtney McLean and is a loving wife, Reverend Nadine McLean, and the entire Worship and Faith International ministry for their love and and accepting those of us who want to dive deeper into the spiritual things of God, into God, knowing God and the spirituality of mankind, how it connects to the Maker. And so here I am doing that course. And so I have to fulfill my assignment by delivering, just doing something that I think is necessary for me to handle as part of the completion of the course. All right. Now, how can I leave off our able um, folks, tutors, or those who ably assist us in the classes, the deaconess and the reverend, the deaconess and Chanel and Reverend Bob, who are closely connected to us, keep us in line, keep us straight, make sure that the homework is done and all of that. So it has been a very interesting ride. But I just want to share with you today a few things. And over the next 5 days, we're going to be talking about spending time with God. Spending time with God. And we're going to be looking at that to see what that looks like, what it really means for us, and how it's done, or how, how there's some ways, because remember, now we're all individuals and we have different ways of doing things. But the scripture tells us specifically, how it's laid out there. And there, if we just search the scriptures, we'll find a lot of things. And but at the same time, we want to know about this God. Who is this God that we all talk about? You know what's fascinating, my friends? um I've been around the block a long time. And in the beginning, when I hear folks talking about God, who's this God? Who is this God? Because they're gods and they're gods and they're gods, right? And yeah, but the true God, that's the one I'm talking about here, the true God. I'm not talking about the false gods and the things that we represent in our lives, and we hold them up on a pedestal like they are gods in our life, and we worship them. Like, for example, our nice house, our motor. We can put anything as a God, but I'm talking about the true and living God. That's the one I'm talking about here for the next 5 days. All right. So it's gonna be interesting for me to be sharing what I know, what I come to know, what I've learned to know, what I've experienced. And it's just been an interesting ride. It's not over yet, but I'm enjoying the ride. And it's growing and learning and building capacity in that side of your life. Now, how many of us take time to pause and think about the how your existence? I'm sure that we are here all here in this world, and it has to be a time when you think about how am I even existing, apart from having money and food and all the rest of the amenities that um, actually, how did it all start? How did it even get here? We know how the sperm got to meet the egg and make that kind of a connection. And but be prior to that, how did that even become possible anyway? Yeah, we know science and biology and so on and so forth. But if you keep thinking and you keep digging and you keep going and you keep, you realize there's a missing piece. There's a missing piece that's necessary to kind of connect it all. But this missing piece, and if you see me looking down, I got my little notes here, right? This missing piece that a lot of us, a lot of people have searched for and continue to search and to continue to dig about the deeper things of how actually this came to be. You know, I'm always in awe of when I hear certain things. I heard a gentleman, we were talking one day, and he said, no matter if you're twins, you have a different DNA, hmm different fingerprints, different. No matter you're born twins, the same, boom, maybe a couple of seconds after one after the other, but your fingerprints are different. How is that even possible? Yeah, I know the science. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a. I'm not a doctor of philosophy and all of that, and doctor of religion and all of that. But even the layman like me question, how is that even possible? How did that come about? So now you got to search for the knowledge or information to bring that to light. And I don't have a long time. I planned that I would only use 15 minutes. So it's a lot. It's a lot you want to get into. But is it important for you to get into that, to know that, to kind of dig into that? Yeah, it's up to everybody. But I chose to kind of want to know, I want to get into a deeper level with the God, the true and living God, the spirituality side of life, the spiritual side of my existence. And so I So it is a pleasure to come on here today and to be talking to you about that. Because I'm always up in here talking about business, about life, about coping, about educational things, and so on and so forth. But that's a little different. Not that my life has, never been evolved around the things of God, but I chose to get a little deeper, and it's good. It's good to know the heart. You want to get to the. If you believe, if you believe that there is a true and living God who is, you know, external to what everything, who controls and who sits and, looks over, who's omnipresent, who is omniscient, who circles the atmosphere, who is here, there, and everywhere, and the eternal, and all that thing that we know. You want to know a little bit more about him. You really want to get to know to the heart of this man, this man called God, this man who we refer to as God, and the true and living God. And we got to be specific about that because we have other gods. There are other gods. But when I talk about the one, the eternal, and we have all the names and so on and so forth for that. But that's the one I want to talk about. The God that is connected to us. Remember, the Bible tells you, and of course the Bible do, folks, let's talk about the Bible. Some folks say, oh, I don't believe the Bible. I believe the Bible. Now, we've got to dig, you have got to, when we say those things, we can't just say it lightly like that. Then, of course, you're going to be like, why don't you believe the Bible? Or why don't you not believe the Bible? You know what I mean? All of us have choices. That's a good thing that we got from the beginning of time. We can choose, right? But our choices, then we got to back it up, right? We got to back it up. So, well, the Bible, as I know it, or the book, the Bible, which is, so many versions of the Bible, so many so many different writings, and of course, coming down from the Hebrew, the and the Greek, and all that good stuff, and being transcribed down to the ages, and so we have different versions of different people have written them. The English, the Message, the King James version. I heard somebody say the other day that they don't read anything else except the King James version. You can choose. But what is this what is this book we call the Bible? And folks talk about the biblical instructions for daily living, right? Or for, right? And so on and so forth. But those words that are inscribed in that book, as we know it to be, and it has been claimed that those are the inspired word from this being that we are talking about. From this being that we're talking about, this being that in the beginning of time created the universe, and he spoke things into existence. And so we can go deeper. He spoke all this into existence, but he made man in his image and in his likeness. He created, he crafted us in a special way. But he spoke a lot. And a thing in existence, the water separate from the land and all that. So he spoke. So tell me about this 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 being that is speaking about. So now you have to conclude, if you like, that there is somebody greater, right? Well, I conclude there's somebody greater, somebody that controls things in this universe. And if that person spoke, and those who followed him in that day inscribe and wrote, and package it for us, and it's referred to as the Holy Bible. And we can do so much work into digging, and I've never been to the seminary. I'm not, but we can do so much work. So when folks say, oh, they don't know what to do, there's so much you can do to get knowledge of all kinds of stuff, but it depends on where your interest lies, right? Yeah, my interest went into knowing, getting to know God in a deeper and more intimate way. And that comes as a result of spending time with Him. Yeah, spending time with Him. If I want to know more about my husband, I remember when we were dating, I love to spend time with him because I want to know this man that I'm getting ready to get married to, right? I want to know. We go out and we do things, and I'm learning his ways. I'm learning how he does stuff. I'm learning, the things he says. So I'm learning. So okay, that's my husband here on earth, the one that God has connected me with. But now, if I want to know more about this God that I say I love, and the one who loves me and the one who made me and all that good stuff, I want to find out more about him. So I chose to dig deeper into my spirituality and the connection. And so it required me to spend time with him. Yeah. To learn of him, to learn about him, to hear from him, to listen, right? And to understand. And so I want to know more about God. Yes. What's fascinating is when I it's like a lot of folks are catch, but I don't know if what that's a word to use, are coming to realize that there is this being, yeah, that there is this being who is in existence, yeah, and are now talking about it. I went and I went to a conference the other day, and it was about him, but it was about him in connection to wealth building strategies. Now, a lot of us would look at us, oh, we're talking about God. Are we talking about money? Are we talking about building wealth? Are we talking about, yeah. So the thing is that we can't put him in a box, because if he made us and he made everything, and he put us here to have dominion, and so he prepared everything. He gave us everything, and so yeah. So when sometimes people question, who is that person talking about God? And so, yeah, but that's not for us to judge, because that's like way out of our realm. That's not our problem right there. I'm just here to because it's so many dimensions to this thing, and you feel my heart about this thing. Spending time with God, that's what it's all about. If you want to know Him, if you want to get intimate with him, if you want to understand him, if you want to know, hear his heart, if you want to hear when he speaks, you have to spend time, just like you spend time with your natural and your natural folks. If you want to know what your children are doing, you got to spend time talking with them, questioning them, and going out with them, and yeah. So that's no different. But we do everything else except spending that time with the one we say is our creator, who controls the universe, the one we say that we hang on to just like a thread, because if he takes back what he has given to us, then we're nothing, right? But we don't spend time with them. Yeah. So we've got to build that in our daily routine. I'm encouraging everybody. Find some, we're gonna talk about this in a deeper way, but it's important. So you will see that out of because there's a spiritual side of our nature, because we're not just all flesh. There's a body, mind, and spirit, right? So we feed our bodies, and of course we feed our mind with knowledge, with educational things and entertaining things. We feed our mind. My goodness, we look at things all day long on the internet, in the universe, in our environment. So our mind, our memory, we feed it. And we feed our body with some good food. Yeah, man, with the baked chicken, the McDonald's, whatever. So we're feeding the body. What about the spirit? How do you actually feed that spirit. It is with the word of God. Yes, it is with the spiritual things. So we have a balance is important, right? Yes, a balance is important, and I'm a little over my time that I planned. A balance is important. So, but this is good because yes, we feed our body, we feed our mind, and we what about the talk about the soul, the spiritual side of us. We've got to realize that if we don't feed it, it's gonna just that anything we don't feed, right? We don't nurture it. We don't nurture it. But we want to dig a little deeper into that side of our lives. And I think because I realize that it's important, that is why I've come here to share with you, and I'll continue to share with you over the next 5 days how that is working, how it has been helping me. Because there are some benefits. There are some benefits to spending time with God. It's not only the knowledge, but yes, because and tie it in with the is inspired word, the scriptures, the Bible. Because in Genesis, we all a lot of most of us went to Sunday school. We know about Genesis. In the beginning, he created, right? But as you went on, he didn't, as I said earlier on, he didn't speak us into existence. He formed us. He fashioned us. Huh? He carved us in his own image and in his likeness. So we're special. Yeah, remember that. We're special. And so because he made us in such a special way, we need to even come to a time in our lives when we're like, man, I'm so special. Let's check into this the creator who made me so special. I want to know a little bit more about him. All right. So, and the other thing I want to touch on, and then I'm going to go. We people express gratitude and we talk about his faithfulness and all those accolades we give to him. Yes, and that's good. But getting to know him in a deeper and greater way, it's even better. And I'm here today to suggest to you that carving a little time out of your day, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, and spend some time with him. And how do you spend time with him? In you this word. Because the word in John 1:1, he said the word is God, right? The word was God. Of course, we know he exists as a spirit. The Bible tells us that he is a spirit, right? And the flesh cannot the flesh cannot see the spirit. The flesh cannot understand. So we've got to understand. We have got to learn about the spiritual nature to understand the spiritual things, right? Our fleshly mind, our we cannot discern the spiritual things. So to get deeper and more intimate in that was important for me. And I'm grateful that I am doing this class. It's a little long today. I'm grateful that I'm doing this class because it gives me, I get to experience and have a greater connection with that side of my life. So, when we go around and we say, God is good and he's merciful and he's gracious and he's kind, you got to know that when we say those words, what they really mean. The intimacy, understanding will help us. And so I'm here just to warm the heart. All right, I'm here to warm the heart. And you know the spirit is that non-physical side of our, we talk about the mind body, it's that side you can't see. If you can see the air that you breathe in, like every day I'm sitting right here, or you're walking there and you're breathing in, right? You're breathing that oxygen, you're letting out that carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, all over millions of us in this universe. And we're living, right? We're living, breathing, being, and we're talking. But unless you do some scientific principle, then you probably won't see that air that is coming out your nostrils or out your mouth. Ever wonder? Ever wonder about that? Ever wonder? I'm like, man, I breathe. I go to bed. I'm saying I'm breathing. You hear it, but can see those things. Yeah. So when I think about it, how he made us, but then he just didn't made us from the clay, and he blew his own breath in us. But think about that. So what if he takes it away? What if he takes it away? See I'm going? Yeah, and so we want to get connected to that side of our lives. It's a matter of choice. I chose to because I want to know. I want to experience it. I want to get deeper. I want to get that experience because you know what? I've had lots of experience in this life. I've had many, many more experiences in this life, and I continue to have experiences in this life. But that is a dimension that I chose to go in. So what is it that you want to consider today? He said the spirit is a part of us that is connected to God. So that's what he gave us. It's connected to him. So I want to establish that connection in a greater way. And so tomorrow, I'm going to be back here at 6 p.m. For those of you that missed me today, you can go ahead and watch a video. That missed me today, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about this spending time with him, why we should spend time with him. So now that we know, we talk about the who, all right? So we're going to talk about why tomorrow. Why should we spend time with the true and living God? All right, my friends, I will see you tomorrow as I continue my assignment and my quest to have deeper intimacy with God. Talk to you later. Bye bye. Okay. All right. What is going on here? Come on. All right. So I guess I'm going to have to do this. This is crazy. Okay. So here we go.